Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com.
And good morning, my friends. I feel like I'm presiding over a wake. I guess I am. Thank you if you're listening, and thank you if you do not watch what is going to unfold in the next hour and a half. My understanding is if you really want to make sure that your television would not be counted in any way, then you need to turn it on, but turn it to like a movie station or something like that. So it is on, and it is clearly watching anything other than the election. Whether or not that makes any difference, I'm not sure, but let's do it. The crowds are sparse there. I mean, for an inauguration, what we've become used to. What does that mean? Nothing. He's about to become the president. David writes, at 12 noon this afternoon, I will be cleaning my cat's litter box because I find that to be less odious than watching the inauguration. It's a sad day when we replace a man with such grace and dignity with a vulgar, corrupt fraud. Be strong, we will survive. Thank you for that. I hope those last three words are correct. You know, the president said earlier at his last press conference, we'll be okay. I mean, I don't necessarily know that to be true. I really don't. I am admittedly a pessimist by nature. Shepard Fairey, an artist, as you know, who actually did a mural right around the corner here with Andy Warhol and Andrew Carnegie getting their hair done in a salon, but was most famous for the Hope banner piece supporting Barack Obama, has come up with some. This is a full page in today's New York Times. Isn't it beautiful? We the People. And it's a picture of a Muslim woman wearing the American flag. He has, my understanding is a few more, but that is it. We the People. And the bottom line is, are greater than fear. Hello? Hello? No. Out. No. So, of all the things that I saw yesterday, the most extraordinary was this news. I guess we'll have to get used to this kind of thing. That Trump had actually asked for tanks. Tanks in his parade. He wanted a massive military kind of presence. Now, where does he get that image? My God. I can think of two places. I can think of Moscow, and I can think of North Korea. That's what their parades look like. Full of their macho display of death machines. The military, when asked, said no. They said no for two reasons. Number one, and the obvious one, is they were concerned about what we now come to call the optics, which is, what are you trying to say? Why would putting military vehicles in a parade for the first time since the inauguration after World War II, when you could sort of imagine why it would be there, has never, ever, ever been done? what would you be saying to the world by that? I don't know if the Trump spokespeople had any response to that. I'm not sure. But also, as it turns out, they were also concerned that because these tanks weigh tons, that they could literally damage the road. So that was a nix. However, they did allow him a 20-plane flyover. So you'll have jets swooping over. They will give him that. And they, too, are not typically part of inaugural parades. God help us. David Brooks, who used to be the conservative columnist for the New York Times, but who now seems to have eschewed politics and has become sort of a humanitarian, an intellectual, a seeker, very openly. Has a very dispiriting piece. And I don't think he, by nature, is a pessimist. So that's a little unsettling. I will read you just the last 3 paragraphs. Crises of some kind are bound to occur on any president's watch. They appear especially likely given the crew that's coming in and their allies in Congress. Given the stated priorities of the people about to take charge, we could very well see collapsing health care, a trade war, a military standoff with China, just in the next year. But even if, he says, we somehow skirt those dangers, stuff always happens. Maybe there'll be a new economic crisis, helped along by the rush to undo financial regulations. Maybe there will be a foreign affairs crisis, some other Russian adventurism in the Baltics by Mr. Trump's good friend. Maybe it will be something we're not thinking about. Then what? Real crises need real solutions. They can't be resolved with a killer tweet or by having your friends at the FBI or the Kremlin feed the media stories that take your problems off the front page. What the situation demands are knowledgeable, level-headed people in positions of authority. But as far as we know, almost no people meeting that description will be in the new administration. Think of that. David Brooks, who is by nature optimistic, says that as far as we know, almost no people who are knowledgeable, level-headed, and in authority will be in this incoming administration. Except possibly, says the nominee for defense secretary, whose nickname just happens to be Mad Dog. So there you have it, he says. An administration unprecedented in its corruption, but also completely unprepared to govern. It's going to be terrific, let me tell you. Someone's telling me to cheer up. Long-time listener, just to cheer you up a bit, don't forget both the Steelers and the Packers are playing. Don't think I ain't hanging on that. Yeah. Thank you, Chris. Yeah. Well, so there was this long piece. Let's take this call. Hello, caller? Okay, hang up. Yes?
For you to pop the phone.
No. Okay, guys, listen. I don't want these sons of bitches to ruin the show. We have informed the powers that be of what's happening, and it's keeping our callers off. Caller ID comes in handy here, guys. I'm sorry about that. I really am sorry. I don't want to give them. I mean, I just want you to know the phone's been lighting up since I started the show. I tried twice, and twice I got burned. So I know some of you are trying to call. I've just been unlucky, I guess. So we will correct this. No problem. There was a long piece that caught my eye because it was datelined from a small town in my home state of Wisconsin, a place called Trempealeau. And, this is a town of about, 4,000 people, maybe? No, 16,000 people. Excuse me, 1,600 people. 1,600 people. It's a tiny little place. It's 93% white. It's, which I find actually low. I mean, I thought it'd be like 99%, 93% white. And it has always been, and the surrounding county, which is also called Trempealeau, reliably Democrat. It has always voted for a Democrat. It resoundingly voted for Barack Obama, despite the fact that it was 93% white and rural. Twice for Barack Obama. So I want that to sink in, because people can't just all of a sudden turn around so that all of a sudden rural, white, small town people in these states like Wisconsin become racists overnight. I'm sorry. It doesn't work. And so there's a lot of other stuff going on. And the article just talks to people at the one bar in town and the one diner in town. And the townspeople of Trempealeau, who helped give Donald Trump the White House, are still stunned. They're stunned. They say that people are always talking about who do you think the 482 people are who voted for Trump. They know the numbers. So they're looking around at their neighbors, their friends, their pals. 482 of them voted for Trump, and they're wondering who. And so the reporter goes and starts asking people, and it's the responses that make you want to scream. Sitting at the bar was a 63-year-old cook who voted for Trump because, quote, everything sucks right now. See? I mean, this is why I'm so angry at these people. That is not, that ain't doing due diligence. What do you mean everything sucks? And then if you ask a follow-up, they really can't come up with a damn thing. Everything sucks. There's no way things could get worse. Next to him was a 59-year-old school lunch lady who says Trump's policies will lead to a significant increase in her wages and cheaper health care. Now, where did she get that? Trump has nominated a guy for the Department of Labor who does not even believe in the minimum wage. He said, How skilled can you be scooping ice cream? You mean you got to be paid $15 an hour to scoop ice cream? And she thinks this guy is going to give her more money for, I guess, scooping mashed potatoes. So there's this ignorance, there's this cluelessness. It's really beyond belief. And none of them are saying, these are, as I said, this is the same place that voted pretty overwhelmingly for Barack Obama. And here's somebody, the village president, Kurt Wood, who voted for Hillary, said. He's trying to figure it out. And he said, I just think that people weren't feeling the greatest about the direction of the country and thought, oh, well, I'm just going to throw my vote to somebody that I think will change things. Still, with the idea, well, he isn't going to win. That's what their village president thinks. He thinks people were saying, I'm having a little bit of a snit fit here. I don't like really what's going on. I can't put my finger on what it is I don't like. But a lot of people are telling me I should be really angry and miserable and that things are going to hell in a handbasket. And so I'll just vote for this guy to show people how pissed off I am. Because after all, he's not going to win anyway. And then the village president said, I think, in all honesty, people already realize what a mistake they made. Okay. I feel like I know those people. I grew up around them. They're good people. But they're not good citizens. They do not value the franchise that they were given. And I'm really having, as you know, a lot of trouble forgiving them. Oh, by the way, I was wrong. Trempealeau County is 97% white. That does make more sense. 93. So on and on, and Phil, you're kidding, right? Does the studio setup not allow for screening? Phil?
He must be a new listener.
No, he's not. No, we just take calls, right? We got one fucking phone here. We got one line. I'll be on this after the show. Don't worry. I'll be on it. This will not hold. It's not like the fix that we need is expensive. So. Roger writes, thanks for the upbeat show yesterday. Was he being sarcastic or was it upbeat? I doubt if it was upbeat. Upbeat is not sort of, that is not an adjective that would apply to me of late. Thanks for the upbeat show yesterday. Couldn't find razor blades and I was out of bullets. So I went straight for the bourbon. Today ought to be a doozy. Yeah. He says, I've been spending a lot of time driving to Akron lately, and radio, especially in Ohio, sucks. Listen, radio sucks everywhere. Radio sucks. However, he said, I found a crackly sounding black station, probably at about, 6:20 a.m., yeah. crackly sounding black station where they said there are 1,200 bus permits for Saturday's march and only 200 for today's inauguration. Is that true? I have been seeing, yes, I have been seeing that there's a lot more buses that have been corralled for the march tomorrow than are coming in to D.C. today. And in fact, I have seen on the internet today pictures of trains coming in to Washington, and they're empty. And the guy tweeting it said that on a normal Friday, these trains are full, and there's no one on them. So, believe me, 2/3 of America, 2/3 of America is wringing its collective hands right now. Roger continues, every good person I've talked to is not only not viewing today's atrocity, but they're making sure nothing is being recorded on their DVRs during that time period to keep ratings as low as possible. Can't imagine what Tweety Bird will tweet tonight. Speaking of that, I came upon this little tidbit, and that is that the Secret Service, or somebody, probably the NSA, has taken Trump's Android away. Celine, what's funny about that?
It's just he's a child.
Why can't I find this thing? They have. They've taken it away and given him something. They gave him something that, is secure, I guess. But, yeah, he no longer has his totally unsecured phone on him. I don't know where it went, damn it. So, Debbie writes, what? A la Brexit. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Sorry. So, Trump, yesterday, he had this big lunch over at his hotel. In the presidential ballroom. He walks into this gaudy, gilded monstrosity of a room, and he looks around and he says, "Isn't this a gorgeous room? A total genius must have built this place." His press secretary, Sean Spicer, later in the day, defended Trump continuing to own this hotel, which, by the way, in about an hour, he will be in violation of the Constitution by virtue of owning that hotel, or renting that hotel, is what he's doing. He's leased it from the federal government. Here's Sean Spicer. He's going to own his own hotel. I mean, I think that's pretty smart. I think the idea that he's going to own his own hotel, this guy talks like him, shouldn't be a shocker. It's a beautiful place. It's a place he's proud of. What does any of that have to do with anything, you fucking moron? Jesus Christ, that's not the question. He wasn't done. It's an absolutely stunning hotel, Spicer went on. I encourage you all to go by if you haven't been by. Now, That is the president. If this were said today, again, that would be a violation of the Constitution. This would be a press secretary telling everybody to go to the hotel that the president owns and spend their money, which will go, of course, directly into his pocket. How does anybody ever vote for a Republican again? How does any person of conscience enable the party that has done this to us? We've been through this before, but just let me repeat. His hotel is in a federal building. It's the old post office, which the General Services Administration has leased to Trump for, I think it's 60 years or 90 years. It's a long lease, and he's going to pay $3 million a year in rent to the government for this hotel. But here's the problem, and I've read this to you, and you don't have to be a lawyer. You don't even have to have an IQ more than a philodendron to understand that he now cannot legally have that hotel. Here is part of the contract he signed with the General Services Administration. There is a clause that says this: no member or delegate to Congress or elected official of the government of the United States or the government of the District of Columbia shall be admitted to any share or part of this lease or to any benefit that may arise therefrom. He can't have it. The minute he's done today, he is in violation Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And let me tell you, that's just the most obvious because it's this big, huge building and it's pretty much across from the White House. And he keeps having people come there, diplomats, everybody. They're falling all over themselves to stay in his friggin' hotel and feed him money. This week alone, my God. And the prices in that hotel, oh my God. So the president, as he's taking the oath of office, is going to be ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. Unbelievable. In violation of the Constitution, a millisecond after taking the oath. Ah! It's a 60-year lease. Now, who's going to call him to account for that? I mean, because you realize now that he gets to appoint the head of the General Services Administration. It'll be Jeff Sessions, who will be the Attorney General and head of the Justice Department. I mean, who is going to hold this crook in chief accountable? The Republicans? His own nest of viperous thieves? I don't think so. We have no reason to believe that. I just wanted to share some of the... I just want to remind you what has happened in the last 8 years. Okay? 15 million new jobs. The Dow tripled. The deficit was cut in half. Bin Laden was taken out. Gay people were let in. An international climate agreement was reached. Millions of Americans who never had access before now have access to health care. That's just some of the things. The vice president said this: 15.8 million new jobs, 20 million more people insured, 165,000 troops home from war. Serving as your vice president was the greatest honor of my life. Joe Biden also famously said a few days ago, "We have no freaking idea what he's going to do." Oh, God. And I think former Labor Secretary Robert Reich got it right. He called the events unfolding right now a sickening event, a tragedy for America and the world. And all you Trumpkins who think we're just like freaking and overreacting, I can assure you, before you die, you will know that you made an extraordinarily grievous, tragic result. Do we recover from it? I don't know. That remains to be seen, huh? Okay, we got a lot of callers saying, God, get your phone fixed. Enough is enough. I miss hearing our speakers. It's a shame you've been at Pittsburgh City Paper for 8 years. Have I? Jesus Christ. And your show still hasn't been so much as up to 2 or 3 hours, let alone have call screeners. Well, why don't you send that to the people who run the goddamn thing? It is pretty outrageous. I have to admit, I don't push for it. I don't. And if I wanted to do 2 hours, I think I could do 2 hours. But given the setup we have here, that's very difficult to do because of, again, the phones. Because we don't have hold, and I can't. It's just tough. So. And Bob says, I hope you acknowledge the passing of your colleague, Kathy Milton. I'd be glad to. I didn't. I'm sorry. Kathy Milton was at WTAE TV when I came, and she'd been a stalwart there for years before I came. She was a trailblazer in that she was not only a female, but she was black. And she was on air. She was a reporter. She was the co-host of, what was the name of the morning show? With Lynn Hines and Al McDowell, AM Pittsburgh. And, yeah. Kathy didn't stay in touch with any of us. So, I mean, every once in a while, we'd have like little reunions where we get together, and she never showed. And when we talked to people, do you anybody know where nobody, she was a very private person. Very private. And I can't say that I ever got close to her, never really got to know her because of that. But she had a lot of dignity. I mean, she carried herself with, I saw that in the obit, one of her nieces says she taught us how to eat properly. I mean, I thought, I bet she did. She was one of those people who just, etiquette was important. She even opened a tea room in Sewickley at one point. It didn't make it, but Kathy, yeah, I think she was 86, and she was a trailblazer. I always think of myself as a trailblazer. She was ahead of me by a good 10 years, and I can't imagine, because I know the crap I took, and I can't imagine the crap she took, plus being black. Oh, God. So she was tough, and I think part of the reason for her sort of the shell around her was defense and self-protective, understandably. But I'm sorry if I didn't note her passing. Oh, dear. Hey, Lynn, where can I start a petition to keep you on the air all afternoon? I need counter-programming, and I ain't going to find it anywhere else. Well, I don't know. As I said, radio sucks. There's no chance of that happening. I can't even get a fucking two-line phone in here in 8 years, so the odds of... I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know what to tell you. I think we come back to, do I charge for this? Because this isn't making any money. So if there's money coming in, maybe we'll get some stuff. Who the hell knows? I'm not inclined to want to put money in their pockets, if you want to know the truth. I assure you the owners have plenty. I assure you they voted for Donald Trump, too. Okay. Yesterday I shared with you this news that McClatchy put out about the joint investigation by the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the some Treasury Department, criminal division, all working together to try, and they're hurrying it now because they got an hour left. Because in an hour, the guy whose campaign they're investigating is going to be the president. And the head of the FBI will be working for Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General. So, who knows? Oh, no. They just must be just keeping on so that no one can get through. That's what they're doing, guys. They've been calling nonstop. Tenacious assholes. Whatever. Okay. We'll have to get it fixed. Immediately. Immediately. I shall tend to it after the program. So, they're looking at 3 specific people. They're looking at the guy who used to head Trump's campaign in the early stages, Paul Manafort. They're looking at the guy who's still a shill for him on CNN, Roger Stone. And they're looking at a guy who also was his foreign policy advisor, Oh, dear God. Blanking on his name. And what they have found is they have found evidence of money passing through these guys and into Russia and back and forth and back and forth. They have intercepted, this is known, nobody's saying it ain't true. They have intercepted communications and financial transactions between Russian officials and Paul Manafort and Roger Stone and the jerk I can't think of. Now, this is not because of the dossier shit. This has nothing to do with that. They're also looking into the fact, by the way, that Trump had the dossier before anyone else did. So that when he was shown the dossier by our intelligence officials, he'd already seen it before. Of the officials who confirm the existence of this investigation, this is now a story that everybody's working on. I mean, you got McClatchy, you got the BBC, you got Mother Jones, you got the Times. Of the half dozen current and former officials who confirm the existence of the investigations, some are now clearly saying that they're providing this information to the media because they truly feared that as soon as Trump became president, he would obstruct their efforts. The FBI investigation into Manafort began last spring. I think we talked about this the other day. And it spun out of a criminal investigation into his work for the pro-Russian party in Ukraine. This is before the Russians went in to Ukraine. And for the country's autocratic, son-of-a-bitch, pro-Russian president, Viktor Yanukovych. Ledgers have been found that showed that Manafort had been paid millions of dollars in cash. Always the sign of an up-and-up operation. Stone, who you see on CNN all the time. By the way, along with Rick Santorum now, could they have picked a more noxious person? Stone, who's a longtime friend of the Donalds, famously said last summer in a speech in Florida, that he was in communication with Julian Assange. And he predicted that Assange had further information on the Democrats and that it would come out soon. He flat out outed himself as part of this, and we know Assange got it from the Russians. Guys, what's so hard to understand here? I mean, connect the dots. Oh, the other jerk is Carter Page. He's a business guy and also totally financially involved with the Ruskies. So these guys at the FBI and at the CIA and at the Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Unit are working overtime. They've got 45 minutes to find something, the smoking gun, something totally conclusive. There's so much stench around, and they all can see what happened, but they're obviously just a tiny bit shy of being able to put these guys behind bars. How many people do you think in this administration will end up behind bars? You know, I saw an obit the other day. It was the prosecutor who put another wonderful Republican administration, Vice President Agnew in prison. Do you remember that? Yeah. I'll tell you, these Republicans, Nixon, Agnew, how many of those guys ended up in jail? Including the vice fucking president, guys. And the idiots in Trempolo said, it can't get any worse. Oh, man. Gigi writes, can we listeners buy you a phone? Sure. Want to humiliate the management of this operation? Do it. I don't know. I'll pitch in. Can we keep you on an extra hour? You are my media indulgence today. The rest of the day is a media blackout for me. We have a work cut out. Yeah, onward. Thank you, Gigi. I can buy the fucking phone. Apparently, there's a lot of... Hey, you! You want to come on?
I was just coming down to...
Come here.
For the exciting day, that's all.
Well, look who came. The guy I was going to go up and scream at.
Yes! I was coming down before I found out you were coming to scream at me.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, good. I'm glad to hear it. This is Charlie Deitch, the editor.
Hey, everybody.
Huh?
I said, hey, everybody. Happy Inauguration Day. I see.
I even have black underwear on.
Me too.
Do you?
Crotchless.
And I got black underwear.
Yeah.
All right. So, somebody just tweeted that there's a lot of free weed going at the inauguration. There's a really seriously stoned bunch of people
That's
there.
nice. Angry stoned people. I guess it doesn't really happen. Angry and stoned.
Angry and stoned doesn't really happen, right? That's true. So, Charles, I cannot take calls.
I see that. Yeah. And
cannot.
I heard that.
I mean, whoever these guys are, they're bogarting the line, and no one can get through.
We are working on that.
It shouldn't be
as
hard.
we speak. No, is
Radio Shack still around? Could
I don't
somebody
know.
just run over and get a little
Radio
fucking
Shack.
phone with 4 little buttons on it?
Well, the problem is the number of lines. We need a queue line. We need a queue, and we're working on that. I promise you. I am.
How long does it take to do that?
Well, we just started looking yesterday for the phone. We've been looking for podcasting equipment for a while. The other problem
Yeah, nothing happened there either.
The other problem is space. We got to get you a space because we're. You could sit.
You
up
know,
in the
you
lobby and do it.
operate about as quickly as turning around the Titanic. I mean, my God.
Well,
he ain't really in charge. He's in charge of the content of the paper.
In my defense, I'm drunk most of the time.
So, do you fucking believe?
No.
No,
I do. I do fucking believe. I believe, these assholes calling and clogging the lines because it's the mentality. It's the mentality that allowed Trump to get elected. It's the mentality that's going to allow him for a short time to, ram through a lot of this.
At what point does it start to come undone? Because there is, as I was saying, the minute he takes the oath, he's already in violation of the Constitution in so many ways.
Right.
I mean, ownership of the hotel. Mm-hmm. I mean, whatever, all of it. At what time? But of course, the head of the Justice Department is his guy. The head of the FBI will be his guy. The head of the CIA will be his guy. How do you hold a government accountable if they've got the entire deck rigged?
Well, I mean, it's going to be. I think it's going to become pretty obvious, pretty quick to the. Trump doesn't get elected unless some sane people decide they're going to vote for change regardless of what that is. And now that's not a good decision in my mind, the people who did that, who decided, oh, well, let's give Trump a chance, But those people, it's just like what happened when Obama lost to Congress 2 years into his first term. I mean, I think we've got two pretty horrible years coming, but I predict a turnaround in Congress in 2 years, just as we had, at least in the Senate.
I hope so.
Like they
you ain't going to have it in the House.
No, probably not. Probably not.
Because that's rigged.
Yeah. Yep.
It's all rigged.
In their favor, yeah.
Look at the wonderful email I just got.
Oh. That's nice.
Fuck you, bitch. Cancer, bitch, cunt.
Maybe he has Tourette's in his defense. Cancer, bitch, cunt! Cancer!
Bitch, cunt!
So sign your name. That's what I love. I love...
They never do.
No. Also, forward my death threats down here because I'm not at my computer. That's where I've been getting a lot.
You've been getting death threats.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't want to like...
Right,
but choke to death, you fat bastard.
Yeah,
probably a death threat. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least die. I mean, they don't want to kill me.
Well, you drop
while I'm having a taco from across the street, maybe I'll...
Oh, that'd be a way to go.
It would be, right? Those are delicious.
Hey, I got to tell you, beef taco right over here
on
Smithfield, it is the best.
Yeah.
That'd be a way to go, choke on a beef taco.
I like it's R-E. It's in regard to cancer.
Well, that was one he sent me. Yes, why are you so cancerous? What kind of crack do you smoke? And now he's beside himself, so he's into bitch, cunt, and fuck and all that kind of stuff. So, it's going to be a long 2 years.
It will. I think it was Dan Savage, the columnist, who said we got to take it in 100-day chunks, Like every 100 days we have a party, we have a celebration. We could do that.
It's like 1 day at a time.
Yeah.
1 day at a time. Hey, by the way, I was thinking like I was going to go to a movie this afternoon or something. And I read somewhere that this movie with Annette Bening in it that called I don't know what. It's supposed to be very nice. I'm just telling you that if you see that movie this weekend, 5% of all the proceeds all over the country of that movie will go to Planned Parenthood.
That's great. That's what you got to do today. I mean, make a donation to Planned Parenthood. Go down and volunteer.
Exactly right.
I mean, go out. There's plenty to do. There's plenty to go out and plenty of places to go out and protest. Go out and just make your voice. I mean, we got to keep busy. It's like when my grandma was in the home team. We just play some checkers and we just got to keep busy till
So you're not going to the march then tomorrow?
I am not going to the march.
Celine's going.
Celine is going.
Yeah, good for you, Celine.
We'll have a writer there. We'll have a writer at all the events around town. We'll have some. I think we have like 2 or 3 photographers in D.C. We have one up at Trump Tower right now. A guy who contacted me, a Pittsburgh guy who's shooting. So we got some photos up there. So it's.
Did you see that? If you want to fly into LaGuardia or Kennedy now, lucky you, because Trump's going back and forth every time that happens, and he's the president. The airspace around New York is shut down.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the effect that is going to have on people's lives?
Because again, he doesn't. It's obvious he doesn't care about anybody but himself and his own ego.
That's right. Of course.
Did you see that one? I think he's a cancer bitch cunt. If I'm being honest. I'm kidding. Not really.
So.
20th Century Women.
That's it.
Is the Annette Bening movie.
20th Century Women. And she's talked about as a actress nominee for it. Apparently she's beyond belief in it. I love her in anything anyway. But go see it, because apparently it's not a depressing movie.
No.
It's a sweet little movie, and 5% of your ticket price, babe, to Planned Parenthood. And I think that'll amount to... stuff to give them.
Also, if you want to forget your troubles, you could also, speaking of Annette Funicello, Beach Blanket Bingo. You won't get any proceeds to go to Planned Parenthood, but you get a couple of laughs. I'm sure that's on the Netflix, or you can find that. You might be able to find that for free on the YouTube.
You know how old I am?
How old?
I remember when she was a Mouseketeer.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Annette.
I'm Cubby.
No. Yeah, I'm Cubby. Yeah.
It was in reruns, when I was... Doreen.
Jeez, Jimmy, I think.
Yeah.
Annette, though, was the babe. She was the...
Yeah. She was ahead of her time there on the Mickey Mouse Club. I mean, all we can do is, it's, I promise, first of all, I'm on here to promise that we will get this podcasting situation taken care of. It's come back to the top of the list, and I have firm commitments
especially given the times we're in.
Yeah, because it's important, right, and it's important for us to keep this show going, because there aren't going to be many outlets for people to call people cancer, bitch, cunt. And as a proponent of free speech, I think that's vital.
Well, here's just one of the emails I received.
Yeah.
Can we listeners buy you a phone? Can we keep you on an extra hour, maybe starting today? You are my media indulgence. The rest of the day is a media black. We have our work cut out. People want this. They're not getting it anywhere anymore. So we got to be there for them.
Yeah, maybe. I just had an idea. Maybe we could do.
Cool.
Yeah, maybe we could, make a little money for some good causes, and maybe we could, I'll have to get you some lozenges, because it involves you being on the air a long time.
Okay. Well, first we got to get. I have been sick
We'll
as a
get
dog.
you. That's what I heard.
And today I feel better. Do I sound better today?
I just wanted you to know you weren't in it alone, even though I know that's how you've been feeling.
You're such a good guy. You are such a good guy.
Although I have been called, you're not going to believe this, a cancer bitch before. So that's crazy. Oh man.
How pathetic are people's lives that this is what. I don't even know why that means.
Yeah. Does anybody out there who's internet savvy? Does KYS mean anything, or is that just?
Kill yourself.
Oh, yes, kill yourself.
Oh, kill yourself. That's nice. Thank you. Okay.
Kill yourself.
That's what my son keeps saying every time I say, "Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening." He always goes like, He said, "Mom, I got something. A bullet." Right. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Kill yourself. Trump is gonna fuck you 10 times. Just the.
Little hands.
That gelatinous.
Little orange hands.
Oh God!
And prodding.
Oh God!
That's probably a fetish. Anybody out there like Trump porn is probably like some kind of fetish.
God. They always say all presidents like gray in office.
Yeah. Yeah. What's gonna happen?
I don't know, but it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Not to him.
Yeah, he might get oranger and oranger. Like, what was that in the Willy Wonka? The girl that kept turning purple. You're turning violet.
My sister sent me a pic from Yahoo News of the mall. It's like a ghost town. Nobody's there. There's really nobody there.
No.
They were showing pictures of, like, subways and trains coming into D.C. today. There's nobody on them.
Wow. I mean, why would you? Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to... Glorious 8 years.
It ain't gonna be 8 years.
No.
Do you even think it's gonna be 4?
I don't even think he could do. No, I don't know. I mean, it's kind. I don't think. I mean, I think there's going to be trouble. I mean, because now that he's the president, all the people that sort of banded against him, they're going to turn on him. Why? Because he's the guy in power. If stuff exists out there, and I'm sure there's hackable information out there on Donald Trump that's probably already been found, that's going to start coming out. I mean, it can't not. I mean, why would, the guy who has Bret Michaels as an apprentice 8 years ago on television, now all of a sudden he's running the country? I mean, it's going to be too. I mean, nothing is secret anymore. So it's only a matter of time before things come out. And, we've got no one to blame but ourselves if this
Correct.
happens, because
That's
that's what we did.
We did it.
We decided a failed businessman, reality TV star was the best person. That's who we should take a chance on. So
Yeah, I can see where you'd get to that point.
yeah.
Unbelievable. Well, I don't know. I don't think he makes it for 4 years. I can't even see him getting through a year. I don't know.
Here's my other problem. Like, I generally think he's incompetent. So what I'm really afraid of is the rogues gallery that he surrounded himself with. Those are the people that are going to be
incompetent too.
They are, but they're also like, I don't even think Trump has an agenda except to just kind of.
He wants to be
he's just on autopilot all the time. He just says what he wants.
He wants to be the most important person in the world.
Exactly right.
Well, he is,
and he's gonna, just like his business. I'm sure he has people under him making all the decisions, and he's the one who's at the top taking the glory and the cash, and so. But those people that he brought in, they're true believers in the shit that they're preaching, and that's scary. I mean, the day that somebody from Breitbart News can come in and
well, you know what? And they're talking about it. What you're going to get at their news conferences is they're going to give credentials to Breitbart and all these other like Breitbart light places, and they're going to keep legitimate.
Yeah. They're going to try and control the news, and that's why stuff's gonna get out, and it's not gonna stay a secret.
God. So when does he become president? 11:30.
Something like that.
Yeah.
This will be like I was working in South Louisiana on December 31st, 1999, and I was sitting at the power company because we were all waiting, of course, for Y2K. We were waiting for the world to end. And I'm sitting there with a bunch of union guys. We're just sitting there waiting, counting down, waiting for the world to end. And this is kind of what it's like. It's like, what's going to happen at 11:30? What's going to happen at midnight? Spoiler alert, nothing happened at midnight. We got drunk on
right.
God,
wasn't that funny, that whole thing? Yeah, this is not funny at all.
No, that's the problem. The problem is, this is,
this is real. It's happening.
Yeah.
And we are fucked. That's pretty much my summation of
10 times next week. I heard we're gonna get fucked.
Oh, Charlie, thanks for coming down.
No, I just sign your names. By the way, I mean, look, sign your name if you want to threaten. If you want to, just sign your names.
They never do.
They never do. They never do. I've been shaming them on social media. Like I've been printing my hate mail recently on social media.
Good.
Yeah.
No, I think people need to see it.
I write back a lot too. I write back a lot too, and it's.
I always did when I back in the day. I would get tons of crap, and I always shared it because people need to know.
Yeah, they do.
All right, you guys, I'm telling you, we'll get through this together.
We shall overcome. Probably, I don't know.
Well,
what happens.
I think that's sort of it.
Yeah.
God bless you for coming down.
No, my pleasure.
Go Packers!
Go Steelers.
Go Steelers!
Go Packers.
Thank you.
That was completely placation.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper, Steel City Media, and its advertisers.